I'm Fraser Simons.
I'm YG Mitchell.
And this is Young at Heart, a sports drama story game. So last time on Young at Heart, we saw Jake and Hoyt emerge from the team locker room to the cries of the crowd, and we just rolled off screen because we didn't want to take up too much time with that. And it looks like Hoyt is just full of pride these days. He's got 2 in pride and 0 in heart.
So I think we're going to catch up with him in a daze from all these flashbulbs of the last game of the season. Walking up to the mound, he and Jake part ways and go in opposite directions as Jake goes in front of the umpire, and they have a couple of warm-up throws, I suppose. We close in on his eyes, and they're shifting around looking at the crowd who are already laying into him.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
an old man.
Yankee Stadium. Go home!
They're like, he can hear them berating him, like telling him to retire, like telling him he's too old for this.
Yeah.
We see him sort of, his shoulder drop as he's going to recoil for the first throw, and that's where we shift into a field in, what town is he from?
Springfield.
So yeah, he's in this backyard of this small wooden 1-floor home, and the backyard is a flat garden, but outside the back garden is just fields. Like there's nothing for miles all around.
So wheat fields kind of thing?
That's exactly it, like brown and bright yellows, and he's throwing a ball at a tree. He's about 14. He hears some shouts from inside the house while he's throwing the ball. He just ignores it and keeps throwing the ball and going to get it, and then walking back to his mark and throwing the ball at the tree again. The shouts escalate more and more until he hears a slam of the porch door, and he turns around and sees his dad storming out with his coat in his hand, getting in the only car that they have, and the car goes and there's a big cloud of dust, and he looks back at the porch, and his mum, Eleanor, is standing there looking at him with her arms crossed.
Yeah, I think she's like not even like, I think she is sad, but I don't think in front of Hoyt she's like super mom all the time. We see like get a picture of her coming through the wheat fields with her hands like trailing on them kind of thing. She gets to Hoyt, and she kind of smiles. It's a little sadly though. And then she says, it looks like it's just going to be you and me from now on. But she like walks over and grabs the ball and tosses it to him.
Yeah.
And she like takes up a catcher's position, and she's like, we never needed anyone else, did we though? Kind of thing, right? And then maybe this is a good time to roll to see if Hoyt reacts with pride or heart.
Yeah. It's the perfect time.
Well, it's just how like... how, from this set of circumstances, Hoyt is going to react towards the situation. He's either going to be like, you know, sort of vulnerable about it, or probably cold about it kind of thing. So, yeah. Which way do you want to go, Heart?
So, yeah, I'll roll heart, yeah.
Okay, let's see if Heart can get some. Right now it's at nothing.
Okay.
Oh, we both got it. Nice. So... what happens in a tie is we both generate that resource. So there's 3 pride and 1 heart, and you still get narrative control.
I think he takes the ball off his mum and goes back to his mark and tries to throw it to her, and misses wildly. Like, she does her best to try and catch it, but it's out of her reach. And that's when the tears come, and that's when he runs off inside the house.
Maybe she goes to go get the ball, right? And it's like a little smaller tree further down, but it's like embedded in it,
Nice.
right? Like it's just growing, so it's not exactly like it would take a lot of force to embed it, but that's when she's like, huh, maybe this kid has like a little bit of talent, right? So we see her hand reach for the ball and take it out, and there's like that mark on the tree that she puts her hand over, and as the hand goes down over it, it sort of transitions in it like it's her hand going down his face on the camera kind of thing, so it pans down, and he sort of like smiles to himself, and he looks around, and those fans are still like, you suck, and like, go back to Tennessee. And he looks at the batter, and I think he just sort of like shakes it off, but when he shakes it off, in his ears everything like melts away, and it's a completely silent baseball field, and he just like fires a fastball at the glove, and we hear that snap crack, and when we pan up, it's another kid on the street, I think, and when it goes out, we see that it's Eleanor is acting as like an umpire kind of thing for two boys, and they're actually at like a, the town small baseball diamond. Nobody else is there, and it's probably like approaching twilight, and Eleanor is sort of like instructing both of them what to do, and I think Hoyt is sort of getting like really tired, and he just wants to like stop and quit kind of thing, and Eleanor's sort of doing the like not until you get it on the inside corner, and then let's roll and see how Hoyt reacts to that.
Okay.
And I'm thinking I want to go heart this time.
All right.
This is what I have an idea for.
Oh, 6.
Oh, nice. So pride,
Pride wins again.
and you get narrative control from me, so you take over the scene for what Hoyt does now.
When Hoyt's mum does that, you see Aaron get really impatient, and Hoyt realizes this, and he loses his temper, and he shoves Aaron to the ground and storms off to go and wait in the car until they're finished. And we get a shot from behind the car of Hoyt sitting there with his arms crossed, sulking, and his mum and this kid from down the street practicing together.
Oh, so she starts helping him.
Yeah, well, she's got some pride too, I suppose, and she's not just going to pack up and go because he's sulking. They're going to finish the evening session and then go back when they're ready rather than when he's ready.
Maybe that same, like, petulant child's face is in the face of the crowd, and he sort of is, like, giving this, like, knowing grin that someday, you'll be glad that your parents, like, brought you to the ball game like I was. And he'll throw that pitch that he, like, couldn't land for that practice session with the mom, right? She was like, you gotta get it on this inside corner or you're not going home. And now he just, like, expertly places it there. No problem. And as it pans back to him, he's got, like, this look of satisfaction that gets replaced with a young Hoyt. And I think it's his 16th birthday. And it's midnight at the same house when, like, a pickup truck comes up. And we don't see who gets out of it. It's like a silhouette with the moon splaying on their back. And when they knock on the door, Hoyt opens it, and then we see that it's the father. And I think Eleanor's the mom looks around and was maybe doing something like cutting the cake. Then she looks over at the door and sort of like stops. And then the role will be how Hoyt deals with the reemergence of the father. And I think I want to roll pride on this one because I would like to tell this guy to shove off. Oh, I rolled a 3 for pride though.
I rolled a 1 for
Oh,
heart.
1.
Yeah.
Jeez, pride is killing it. Yeah, he'll like push his dad back without even like any words being exchanged between them, and not in like a I want to hurt you way, but in a like very much like this is our space and we don't need you anymore. So just like a light shove back, and then he closes the door.
There's more to his pride than we've seen. I think the pride that we're seeing now with what this celebration represents and what his pushing his dad out of the picture represents is a pride in his relationship with his mum that has brought him that success. The way that they've worked together to push him towards professionalism, that's the pride as well. And I think that's what we can sense when we come back to the stadium and he throws another strike, is his pride.
And maybe the kid that is going to one day appreciate being here, maybe it's only the mom that brought him here then, right? And the father's not in the picture, right?
So he's seeing this sulking child and he's seeing the same look. Not the same look in the child maybe, but the same look in the mum, who she's confident that she knows what she's doing. I think we're going to go back to high school, so it's around the same time as the last flashback, maybe a little bit later, and we pick up on a classroom. There's just 3 kids and a teacher. One of them we recognise from the first scene, that is Bridget, but she's 17 and she's working hard. It's obviously some extra study club, and she glances out the window and she sees a game of baseball going on out there. She looks down again, and then there's a smash as a ball comes through. I think we see Hoyt's head peep out over the window.
Yeah.
And then we're going to cut forward to him like waiting for her outside school when she's finished.
She comes out and she's like, Hoyt, you think it's funny being able to just like nail it through the window? It's like when guys come up to you and then try to ignore you. It's very evident what you're doing, so why don't you just tell me what you want? And she like tosses the ball back to him, and I think it's got a little bit of sizzle. Hey.
it stings his hand a bit. Yeah, he goes what, that was an accident, what are you talking about?
Hoyt, everyone in this town's been watching you play ball since you were like 12 years old. You think it's an accident? Especially when there's like a cage behind the person you're throwing the ball to.
And he throws the ball back to her, like, playfully.
I think she like doesn't like where that's going, so instead of catching it, she just steps out of the way, right?
Nice.
Like her dress like billows a little bit as she like just gets out of the way, and it knocks off the steps as ineffectually his like, you know, coming onto her is. And she says, Hoyt, that's not funny. You know, I'm not a groupie, and I don't act to be treated like a groupie.
That's a good time for a role, I think.
Yeah.
That could define his character really well, like whether it's heart or pride, how he reacts to that.
Definitely. Which one do you want?
I would take pride, but
yeah, I like heart.
Ooh.
I got a 4.
6.
Oh, 6.
Yeah, so he rushes to apologize, like he goes no, and then remembers himself and shuts down completely. He just cuts all of that off and goes desensitized. He's not. His initial reaction was to like apologize because he didn't mean it in that way, but something was stopping him from really like being honest, and he just shuts down and maybe just lets her walk away.
Yeah, when she walks away, she's probably like a little bit surprised because he started with the no, and then stopped, right? So maybe she was like, okay, we'll see. So we get this like stupefied look on his face as the batter like smashes the ball, and the ball like goes flying.
Hi, this is Jason from the Gauntlet Gaming Community. If you enjoyed this episode of Comic Strip AP, please consider supporting the Gauntlet on Patreon. Our page can be found at patreon.com/gauntlet.